My friends, I have been waiting for this for about 2 months now. Welcome to the part 6 of my 12 GPU mining condo project. You guys have been waiting for this. It's been a while. I'm sorry that it has taken so long. You know who I have to blame is the Canadian customs. They were unable to ship these to me because they were held in Canadian customs for having a value over 2,500 Canadian, okay? And I was mad. Oh man, was I mad. I was super sad as well because, as you guys know, I've been having this whole grow tent here and I already have a few rigs in it already. But the main thing about this grow tent was to have my 12 GPU condo project. Finally, it is here. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys which cards I got. I think most of you guys already know which ones I got. So I just want to mention that these are really well packaged. I guess these came in the same box that Nerd Gears got them from in China, as they're all pre-packed in their respective little tiny slot here. So let's take one out and check it out. Which cards did I get? Can you guys guess which ones I got? You guys probably know. Let's open one up here. The EVGA P104-100 mining card. Yeah, from good old Nerd Gears, brand spanking new. And I got 12 of them. So I'm going to be running them on my 2 Veta frames here with a Gigabyte FinTech motherboard that I've shown you guys in the past 2 months ago. So I'll have 12 PCIe's plugged into that motherboard. Plus, I'll have 2 power supplies, which let me show you which ones I got here. I have the HP server power supply, and I have a 1200 watt Cooler Master Platinum rated power supply. I have everything all set up, laid out how I'm gonna plug them all in. As you guys can see, each of the PCIe power cables that goes into the breakout board here has a splitter, okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's not long enough, hopefully, to, well, I hope it'll reach with there, and I'll have these splitters. One goes into the graphic card, and one will go into, the other side will then go into the riser, okay? And you guys can see here that these graphic cards have one PCIe 8-pin, so that should be enough, as I've done that before in a previous build that you guys saw. And as well as the other power supply here. So this will run my motherboard and SSD, and as well it has a 4-pin floppy cable to power on this power supply. Whenever this power supply comes on, it'll jolt and turn on this one as well. I have all the PCIe cables plugged in right here. So as you guys can see, I'll show you an example. So here is a PCIe cable. It normally has another end, a PCIe 8-pin on it, daisy chained, but I'm only using the one because I have to split them up in order to get the length that one goes into the GPU and the other side goes into the riser, okay? And yeah, I was not, as you guys can see, I've already strapped these together on this cable, as this one will not be long enough to go to the PCIe riser on the underneath the graphic card. So that's why I had to do that. And these all have dual 8-pin to dual 8-pin PCIe splitters on them, and same with this one as well, okay? So that's my power supply situation to power on all of these 12 GPUs into that frame. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to go ahead and just start building it step by step and showcasing everything for you guys along the way. So let's get started. Alright, so first thing I want to test out is one of these risers, okay? I want to make sure the length is going to be okay. So I've already pretty much test fitted where my motherboard is going to be. So it's going to be, you know, situated there in the middle between the 2 Veta frames, okay? So basically I bought, actually these aren't Veta frames, these are the Astron frames. They're pretty much Veta frames. I just call them Veta frames because that's just what I'm used to. But anyway, so I'm gonna just plug this into the motherboard here. It's probably really dark. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna plug that into just one of these PCIe's here. Actually, I'm gonna go on this one. So I want to make sure that this is long enough to go, this USB cable is long enough to go underneath here to the next graphic card. Okay, so, or to the side of the graphic card over here. So it looks like, I'm not straining it. And it looks like a graphic card should be able to fit there, the P104. So I should be good there. Okay, now I want to test out the other side, okay? So the other side, I want to make sure that I have a long enough USB cable to go on this side, okay? So, oh yeah. Yeah, that's long enough. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think we're good on the USB length, and I guess the top row where I'm going to have the 6 GPUs will be fine as well, no problem, no matter where I put them on this motherboard, because there's the 12 PCIe's, so that should be no problem. We're going to talk about the fans, which I'm going to do last, okay, so that'll be at the very end, once I build all the whole thing, put all the graphic cards in, put all the risers, power supplies and stuff. So, let's see, what should I do now? I think I'm gonna go ahead and put in the power supplies first. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I have the power supplies in. I'm thinking I should have put the cards in first, but whatever. I think I should have enough room to put the cards in still. Okay, so let me explain how I did the power supplies here, okay? So I've already told you guys I have the 12 PCIe's pretty much with splitters on the end of them, okay? So I have the 1200 watt platinum at the top here, sitting on the Astron frame here, okay? And I've already plugged in the 8-pin CPU cable for the motherboard and the 24-pin for the motherboard, so that's good. And now I have the SSD SATA power connector already plugged in. Just need to get a SATA cable. And then as well, all of the PCIe cables are just hanging off here, ready to plug in to the graphic card and the riser. Okay, so you guys can see I did show you before. Each of the PCIe cables here, one will go into the graphic card and one will go into the riser. Okay, and now the HP server power supply at the bottom here. Let's see if I can get down here. Yeah, so I have pretty much these 6 PCIe cables you guys can see in the breakout board. 6 of them are plugged in, and at the end of each of these is a 8-pin to dual 8-pin adapter. Okay, so same thing I did on the HP server power supply. One will go into the riser and one will go into the graphic card. Okay, and you guys may notice there's another string here that's coming from the 1200 watt PSU, and this is just a 4-pin like floppy cable. Okay, so that's just to let the power supply know that when this power supply turns on, it sends a signal down to let know that this 1200 watt power supply can turn on, and thus turn on all the other graphic cards and everything. Okay, so there we go. So that's the 2 power supplies are in. Now I think the next logical step is to put in the 12 GPUs. Okay, so I'm gonna do that off camera, and I'll see you guys in a second. There we go. I didn't really think this through. I don't know if I can get my hand in there to screw in these little tiny bolts. I'm just going to do one on each graphic card with this Allen key, so this is going to be pretty hard. I mean, I was going to take out everything in my grow tent, but I said to myself, I don't think I'd be able to carry this whole 12 GPU rig into there and then put everything back in. I'm kind of lazy, so I'm just that's why I'm building it inside here. It's going to be a little bit harder, but that's okay. So let me attempt to see if I can screw this card in. Alright, so after about 5 or 10 minutes, I was able to screw in the little screw in there for the P104 into the Veta frame at the top there. And I already plugged in the PCIe cable for the graphic card, and then as you guys can see, adaptered in. Goes into the riser, okay, the PCIe riser for the 6-pin. Didn't have to use the 8-pin portion of it, so I just took that out. Okay, so looking good as you guys can see. The first GPU is in. I also put in the riser PCIe 1 cable into the motherboard. You guys may have noticed I pushed the motherboard back a bit, all the way to the back of the Veta frame, because I had it up to here before. But then this cable, the blue USB cable, was going outside of the case outside of here instead. So I decided just to push it back, pull it back, and I was able to put the wire right through down into the PCIe riser at the bottom. Okay, so let me attempt to do all 11 of them, the rest of them. So this is going to take me probably an hour or two, depending how I do well with these screws. Okay, so I'll be back in 3, 2. Oh wait, I gotta unpack all these. 1. And there we go. All of the GPUs are in. Look at that, my friends. 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom. All plugged in to one motherboard, the Gigabyte FinTech B250 motherboard. You guys can see the spaghetti of blue PCIe cables, USB cables, and they're all going into the risers and then connected to the graphic card. I got all the power cables for the power supplies, all cable managed as best that I can, and at the bottom here I did them as best as I could, coming out of the HP server power supply on the bottom. And you guys know the ATX power supply is on the top row here. I think it's all good. I'm very scared to turn it on. I already plugged in the network cable. I have the DVI cable for the monitor. We're gonna see if this thing posts, and I already got the SSD in, all the cables, everything looks good. I triple duper checked all the power cables, the PCIe cables going into the graphic cards and the risers as well. Okay, so we'll have to make sure, guys, it's always good to triple check the PCIe cables going into the risers and graphic cards, because you never know. Sometimes, in my experience, these splitters can sometimes have a loose cable. Okay, so that's not good. It can short something or even burn out your card, all that kind of stuff, so you have to make sure. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and turn this baby on. I'm quite nervous. I hope it doesn't we don't see any smoke or anything. So let's go ahead. I have a power button all plugged in, which came with the Astron frame. So let's go ahead and let's see. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Smelling for any smoke. I don't see any smoke. Oh, the BIOS came up, so that's good, right on the monitor. Wow, that came up right away. That's weird. I don't have a keyboard or mouse or anything. Let's just see if all the graphic card fans are spinning. I don't smell any smoke, so the fans are good on the bottom. The second row, the fans look pretty good. Yeah, all the fans are going. I don't see any burning. I don't see any smoke. That's good. The HP server power supply is doing its Christmas colors. I think that's good. A lot of people said that's normal. Okay, my friends, it looks like we're good. So I'm going to end it there. This video was probably long enough. I am going to make another video regarding BIOS updating. Okay, I have to BIOS update all these cards to 8 GB, so I'll make a video doing that next. And then I'm going to do the hash rate video. Okay, so that'll be another one, I believe. And also I will do an update on turning on all the GPUs in this grow tent so that we can see the temperatures. Okay, so right now in my room it's 75 Fahrenheit. And as you guys know, it's winter, so I haven't had the inline fan on. But I'm sure I'm going to have it on now, because I'm going to have these 12 GPUs on, and that's going to create a lot more heat. And I forgot to mention, I'll show you guys the power consumption on my triplet PDU. Okay, so this whole grow tent right now is on a single 30 amp breaker. Okay, so for 240 volts. So I'll show all you guys that in another video, and we'll get some temperatures and all that good stuff. Okay, my friends, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Oh man, this is a long day. This took me probably, I think, 2 hours to do. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it mining, update the BIOS on these to 8 GB, because right now they're 4 GB, and all that good stuff. Okay guys, my friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and peace out.